Well, hello, Shepherd of the Valley. I'm here actually at the office building of Transform Minnesota, which houses one of our mission partners, Arrive Ministry. You may or may not know that for the last 10 years, since 2015, we have been a part of the teams that all around the Twin Cities that serve refugees through the ministry of Arrive. We've had 3 Good Neighbor teams that have helped families get acclimated here. And every year, part of our benevolence goes to Arrive Ministries. And so I'm here with Rebecca Phillips. She's the Director of Refugee Services. And so we're here just to talk a little bit about Arrive. Tell us a little bit about your heart and why you do what you do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening, for being here involved with us. So I've been working at Arrive Ministries for 7 years. I'm the Director of Refugee Resettlement and Refugee Services here. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of what Arrive mission is. And our mission really is life transformation for refugees, immigrants, and the church. And we don't believe life transformation just happens in one day. We think it really happens over time. It's more of a journey. So we kind of mark specific and important markers to life transformation. We see it including extending welcome to our newest neighbors. We see it including building connection, which is a huge part of where we love to involve the church. And then we see it in cultivating growth, in empowering our communities to give back. And so, that's the mission of who Arrive is.
How many refugees are you currently serving?
Yeah, great question. So we work on a federal program year from October to September every year. Every year, the president sets a presidential determination of how many refugees can come through our program in 1 year. For this program year, the 125,000 is the cap for the entire United States. For Arrive Ministries, our goal is to serve and resettle 550 refugees. So far, year to date, up until the changes, we had resettled 177 of those 550.
Wow. Okay. And when we think about Good Neighbor teams, how many Good Neighbor teams does that represent?
Yeah, great question. So we kind of use an average family size of about 5 to 6. So with that calculation, that's approximately 30 Good Neighbor teams just for the 177 we've already resettled this year. Last year, we hit an all-time high and resettled 500 refugees in 1 year span. And I know we have lots of those families who are continuing to wait to be paired with Good Neighbor teams as well. So we still have some who are already here and within their first year here who would love to have that connection.
In this season of your guys' ministry, what are some of the challenges that you're facing?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Yeah, we have a lot of challenges of recent. We face challenges with the people that we're working with, and just that we want to see them build those connections, and we only have a short time period under our federal contracts to serve them. So we provide an initial 90 days of case management that is for every refugee that comes through the Refugee Admissions Program of the United States. But on January 20th, we really saw a big change to that. So on January 20th, there was an executive order that came out that suspended the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program indefinitely while it undergoes a review for 90 days. So up until from January 20th all the way through April 20th, there is no new refugee arrivals who will be allowed to come. And so we've never seen quite this kind of suspension, and we're grieved by that. Those families that were planning to come have now had their flights canceled. And so we're really praying for a change in this program and for it to be renewed at the end of this review period. But in the meantime, we had 16 refugees who were traveling and were scheduled to arrive in January and February whose flights were canceled. So we're grieving for them, but also hoping for a change come April 20th. A restoration.
And in terms of churches like ours, what can we do in this season to be supportive to your mission?
Yeah. What we're asking from our local churches, just like Shepherd of the Valley, is to see you stand in the gap with us right now. And the gap right now is that we aren't able to provide those initial resettlement services for those who have arrived even within the last 3 months. So on January 20th, there was an addition to that executive order. There was a stop work order. That stop work order coming from the U.S. State Department really clearly communicated to us that we had to suspend all services, even for those who have already arrived in these past 3 months. So we have new families who have arrived who are counting on those case management services, counting on those connections. So we're really asking for the community and churches to stand with us in this gap of this 90-day period. And that looks like spelling out gap with us, which is G for give, either giving your time or your resources, giving funding to help during this time. Advocacy, we're really asking for advocacy within your communities, but also within our government, that this is a helpful, crucial program for our country to continue serving through. And then finally, prayer. Just praying with us, praying and advocating for these families who are already here, those who have not arrived, for our nation, our nation's leaders, and for all of the things that are going on overseas, the wars and things that are causing the need for refugee resettlement. We're asking for prayer to cover all of it.
We're standing here in a classroom that right now is going unused.
Yeah.
But it seems like your Good Neighbor teams are still able to function because they're separate from your services. So right now, relying on those Good Neighbor teams would be helpful.
Yes, exactly.
So if any of you are interested in maybe starting up a new Good Neighbor team, we haven't had one for a little while. We can start up new Good Neighbor teams. We're going to put on our website this gap so that we can look at how we as a church can continue to support Arrive Ministry as they ascribe unsurpassable worth to every person who comes to us. And so join us, and we are grateful that we get to use all of our Lent offering this season to go towards this ministry. That will be every Wednesday. If you mark the Lent offering, you can give it online or in person. And all the way through Easter, all of that offering will be for Arrive Ministries. Thank you so much for your time and for engaging with us and being a ministry partner. Thank you for your time. And we're praying for you and for what you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.